5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Do you know what? I am so unorganised today. I wouldn't have to stop these early evening naps, aren't I? Welcome along, Josh. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, goodbye. Hello to everybody, wherever you are in the world. One of them is going to apply to you. Thanks for joining us. Get your chat. If you're in the chat, get in the chat and get your predictions in as well. And if you're watching on catch up, you can always have them in below on YouTube, you know. And of course, if it's your favourite podcast platform you are joining us by, thank you for lending us your ears. We all got a bit confident after 1 week, didn't we, Josh?
Just a bit, pal. Just a bit. Came crashing back down to earth last week, didn't we? With 2 losses on the bounce against Huddersfield and Preston, and you can't really say that it were anything less than we deserved, really. Shocking in both games, to be honest. I mean, the Preston game changed a bit when Monga came on, and when you're having to sort of rely on a 16-year-old to come on and do the job for you, it is a bit worrying, isn't it? Really.
Totally. And the thing that gets me is we touched on this before we came live. The early season confidence of, well, we're going to get promoted even with the points deduction. We've got the best squad. There's so much these. I mean, they do say that you learn more from a defeat.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've got the squad that we thought we had. The youngsters suddenly aren't, as good as we thought they were, with Monga's exception. Alves gets yanked off at half time. Nelson gets yanked off at half time in a different game. I mean, I'm just thinking and all we're doing is selling at the moment. We're not bringing anybody else in. Hey, is it not the end of the season yet?
I know. You know what? As soon as the season started, I genuinely thought, don't really feel like I've had that long a break, to be honest. So you sort of, after a few weeks, sort of get used to not watching us perform badly, and you sort of enjoy it. And then before you know it, the season's come round, you think to yourself, God, another 9 months of this now.
Yeah. But in fairness, Marty's only had 3 weeks of proper football, to take in what he's got. So let's not panic too much. But let me just say, I'm not as confident as I was after Fiorentina.
Oh, just touching on that on Cifuentes, I really like him. I think at the minute he's been sort of dealt a bad hand. It's going to be interesting to see. I know he said at the time, I can't remember, it was after one of the friendlies where he said it's going to be a case of having to sell before we can buy. Well, we're definitely selling, so it's going to be interesting to see whether Top and Rudkin stick to the word and say, right, here's a few funds to bring a few players in, even if you get a decent few loans in and maybe a couple of lower budget signings. It's definitely going to be interesting. I think he's sort of at the minute he's having to put sides out with the players that he's got. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on, but I think out of everybody at the minute, it's being a Leicester fan, it's a bit hard at the minute, but he's definitely not one of my worries at the minute, pal. I think I'm really rooting for him. I really like him. He's making he's making sort of proactive changes when he needs to. You know, I'm surprised with the amount of half-time subs he's making. I think we went quite a few years with sort of expecting us to make his first sub about 60 minutes. He's sort of he's sort of realising, right, well, this ain't working, or the opposition are playing better in these sort of areas, and he's changing it up, which is good to see. But like you say, he's got to sort of fit them players in, the players in that he's got, and try and make it work to the best he can, really.
Yeah, like I say, he's got to be given a season, you know. And the thing is, he wanted to be here. And let's be honest with you, even if we'd got, I know nobody wanted Sean Dyche or Chris Wilder, but even them two would have been an upgrade to Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, I think, you know what? So when Ruud come in, I was really excited, and then you sort of knew just after a month, you just thought something ain't right, really. I mean, I wanted him to go because it obviously wasn't working, but it was sort of at the point where, again, I think he got told things by the ownership and the board that obviously weren't right, and I think he was maybe lied to, which is certain things are coming out, and you sort of think, well, maybe he was promised certain things. I mean, whether he was promised things in the January transfer window, and we signed Koulibaly at right back for like 2 million or whatever it was. I don't really think he'd have been too happy with that, to be honest. But
then again, he was the man in charge at that time. He would have asked for that. He must have okayed Koulibaly, and then he's never bloody played him. But then again, neither has Marty. But I just think he had no idea. You know, he was Man United, and let's be honest, we've got better standard of players than we have. And, you know, you would expect him to do reasonably well. And 2 of his 4 games were against us, for God's sake.
Yeah, and he did all right against us, didn't he?
Well, it wasn't hard not. It was harder not to, you know. But look, you joined the Prediction League. Obviously, this is now the show that we're going to do together, you and me. And you actually joined the league a week late. I have to say that... I think I did crap last week, don't I? Well, not just you. In fairness,
that's all right, then. That's all right.
Just you. You and me both did exactly the same.
Right.
We both got 1 point.
Oh my God.
I mean, how bad is that? We can only do better this week.
Shambles, isn't it?
Yeah, Brad actually got 6 points last week. I could not believe it. And I can say it's like so. It's a little bit embarrassing. But let me just tell you, they're going to be named and shamed. So Shane Downs and Craig, Leicester Till I Die Craig. So Craig that does the Tuesday show with us. Both of them got 0 points.
It's not too bad then. It's not too bad.
No. And there's quite a few that only got 1 as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be a long, hard season. I mean,
I think so, mate. Yeah, yes. I think so.
Last season we struggled with the predictions because last season it was all over the place. The only thing you could guarantee was that Leicester were going to lose. And that's where most of us got our points from. I think it's going to be hard. I mean, Jack's already off to a flying start, 4 correct and 16 points. I think we'll just give him the crown now.
Yeah, he's doing well, isn't
he? He is. But anyway, we should move on. I've got to just say before we go any further, I don't know if he's watching. Jim from America, love you, mate, for this hat. I don't know if you can see. It's a Charlotte FC.
Oh, Charlotte FC, nice.
Yeah. So he came from America. We had a lovely day. He was in Leicester for a few days with Wayne and Kate, and then he came down to Poole. Well, he came down to Torquay, and Tom, who lives in Devonport, pulled him over to Poole. We had a lovely day, and he bought me this and another hat, which is, you can't really see what it is, but it will be revealed tomorrow. It will be revealed tomorrow. No, thanks very much, Jim. Really do appreciate it. Of course, I'm a bit of an affinity with Charlotte because of Christian Fuchs and what have you, you know. But anyway, so that's where it stands. Jack is at top. Nate, last year's winner, who He's in America. And now, I know I'm always having a go at Jim about Americans. How can you be an American that calls football soccer and actually win a prediction league?
He's doing well.
I thought it was a time thing, but then they're behind us, so he couldn't be cheating. Awful gamer. Brad, that's Brad there. I've forgotten that's his new moniker. Congratulations, Joss, on scoring as many points as the host. He's a cheeky. Let me just think.
Early days.
Who finished higher last year, Brad? Was it you or was it me? Not saying anything. Right. Doug's in third. Kate there in fourth. Brad, he did have a good week, got 6 points in 6, and then as you can see, all the points going down. And at the moment, he's beating his other half, Jess. And that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it, Brad, if Jess went above you? The funny one is Manny down in 19th. He hasn't got one right yet. It's still in the match. I'm a 2-time winner. That's like saying Preston have won the league. If you go far enough back, Brad, it happens. Right, these are the games. So we've got Friday night, tomorrow night, we've got Derby hosting Bristol Rovers. Of course, the earliest kick-off on Saturday morning is Charlton against Leicester. Then you've got Hull, Blackpool, Swansea, Watford, Birmingham, Oxford, and I hate Birmingham. I wish they get a proper logo. UPR, Norwich, Middlesbrough, Preston, Ipswich, Sheffield United, who had an awful start to the season. They really have. I have a feeling there'll be a call to Chris Wilder in just a few weeks. They're hosting Millwall, Southampton, Stoke, West Bromwich Albion, who started well against Portsmouth, and as you can see then, Wrexham versus Sheffield Wednesday. What I love about Wrexham is obviously they've taken Danny Ward and Connor Cody from us. I saw a Wrexham fan on TikTok going absolutely mental about Danny Ward and the goal he just conceded.
Was it the one? Was it the one at his near post? I think it must have been.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Danny. He's such a strange player. I mean, when they took him off, as I thought, by all accounts and from what people have said, you know what? He's a lovely bloke, but like when they signed him from us, I thought, oh, thank God for that. And to even think we got a fee for him. Oh no, did we get a fee or did no? He left on a free, didn't he?
Yeah, he left on a free.
I'm thinking of Connor Cody who got him in for.
Yes, yeah.
I saw Danny Ward and a few of their fans were saying, "Oh, this is amazing ex-Premier League," and I thought to myself, "God, just wait till you watch him play." Do you know what I mean?
I did when he was having his rant. I did actually send him a message saying, "Welcome to our world."
Yeah, mental.
Wayne is in. I'm jealous of Josh as I had the wooden spoon last year. You did, but then again, in fairness to Wayne, he did only come in halfway through. Still time for the wooden spoon. Like Wayne, do you like the pink shirt? I got it today. Look at this. No stupid Pac-Man or big capital logos. I mean, if you bought, I don't know if you've got any of this year's shirts yet, Josh.
I've not, mate. No, but I do like the pink one, and I like the. See, it's the pink one, the third kit, and then the one with and then the new away kit I really like as well.
I do.
Pretty smart.
I like them both, and I like them both so much I bought them both.
Yeah, I think if. I think said last week I nipped into the shop. Must have been last week, and looked at the new home kit, and I didn't really like it. So I thought, right, I'll wait for the pink one to come out. I'll wait for us to release the away one. So I think I made the right choice, to be honest. I think I'll probably take a trip down in the next couple of weeks and get the away one.
All I will say is. I didn't order straight away because I wanted to see the three. Because I'm fed up. I've got enough blue shirts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these days, you wear these for fashion as much as anything. Although you wear these with shame at the moment. But can I just say, if anybody, Wayne says, well, Joe, if anybody is after the new home shirt, and I'm sure he'll put it up again. I'll ask him to put it up again. There is a gentleman who posts in the Facebook group that can get you the official home shirts. Do we just say a little bit cheaper? Look out for it.
I'll definitely have a look.
Yeah, do. I mean, I had a shirt up there. I've taken it down now, but it was the Vardy 9 last year when we had the goat ones done. And I think they were like pounds. So, yes, I know. Ridiculous. But anyway, I don't know where he gets them from. I'm purely just posting the group. I know nothing. Right, let's move on. Not that I'm on commission or anything, but here we go. Here we go. So these are the Super 6 games that I picked this week. Obviously, we always start with Leicester, Charlton against Leicester, Norwich, Middlesbrough. And I do feel a little bit like Match of the Day that some teams, I'm looking at some of these games thinking, well, it's not really one that appeals to me, like Norwich, Middlesbrough. But I think I've not picked them yet, so I've got to pick them. Wrexham, Sheffield Wednesday. And let's be honest with you, if Sheffield Wednesday got any sense, they are looking forward to that one with Cody and Ward. United, Millwall, Hull, Blackburn, and Albion against Portsmouth. So, I have got, and I do not know why, and we had a lady on earlier from Charlton Live for Brad and the preview, lovely lady. I don't know why, I've got a soft spot for Charlton.
I don't mind him. I don't mind him either. Sort of growing up in like the 90s and stuff, they're always in the Premier League and I guess there was sort of like the 90s version of maybe you could say like your Brentfords or someone like that, sort of mid-table at the time, and always seem to have decent players. And then, like you say, unfortunately, the last 10, 15 years for him or so hasn't gone to plan for him. But it's nice to see him back in the Championship.
To me, there's two be careful what you wish for moments when it comes to football clubs. One of those is Charlton Athletic, because back in the day, the fans, Alan Kirbishley had kept them up in what was then the First Division for years and years, and the start of the Premier League, and they weren't happy. Why are we always mid-table? We want to do better. So the board eventually sacked. I've forgotten his name already. Kirbishley, that's it. They sacked Kirbishley, and that was just the start. They just went down and down and down. And the other one was Blackburn Rovers fan that didn't like Sam Allardyce. Sacked Sam Allardyce, made Keane his assistant, the boss. And anyway, he's one of the few people I've ever known that could make Ruud van Nistelrooy look like a master tactician. That's how bad it is. Right, so we're going to go through these games. These are the Super 6, so these are the ones that we've all predicted for the Prediction League. I just have to say, odds displayed on LTiDtv are for indicative purposes only. Always check the actual odds of the operator's website. Actual odds may change at any time. And, of course, I do this a day or so in advance, so they could change. And, of course, when the fun stops, stop. That's the boring legal stuff out the way. So we have got Charlton Athletic against Leicester City. So Sky Bet odds there. I mean, Charlton 23-10. Sky, the draw they've got is 9-4. And Leicester are 23-20. I have to say, Tom, who does the shows with us on here as well, has actually predicted a Charlton win here. I can understand. So if you have not seen, you put yours up there. I've not seen. Yeah. Technically, you were late, but I allow it because you were with the kids.
Yeah.
Well, you say you were. I'm sure going to Alton Towers was more for you than them.
I'll be honest, I'm absolutely knackered walking around it, so...
That's true. Oh, no, it was... Well, oh, yes, here you are. You've gone 2-0. Doug has gone 2-1 to Charlton. Thomas has gone 2-0 as well. I've tried to stay loyal, but this will be the last week. 2-1. Look, the first couple of games, we struggled against Wednesday, but we managed to turn it around in the second half. Against Huddersfield was embarrassing, and I know that was a cup game and whatever, but those penalties must have had Jeremy Barton laughing his socks off, those penalties. And then we had Preston, who basically schooled us, didn't they? They really did.
Yeah.
And look, Charlton are virtually one of everybody's favourites to get relegated, certainly with the bookies. But they're in 10th, we're in 12th. They've won, they're not lost yet this season. We've obviously won and lost. Not getting many goals, though. They're not conceding. They're not getting some. They got a 0-0, and then obviously they won the second game 1-0 at the weekend. We're at 3-3. You see, I mean, it's early yet, but they're on 4 points. We're on 3. If we do not get something from this, I think panic is going to start setting in.
I could just see it being a bit like Preston, mate. We don't seem to have settled. We talked about obviously Cifuentes earlier, really sort of trying to see what his best 11 is and which players he can get. He can get, a decent shift out of. I don't know. I think it's just got all the makings for a loss for us, unfortunately. I mean, it's early kick-off. It's on Sky. I think it's sort of the Sky thing at the minute. They want sort of the fairy tales and they want, like, the sort of Leicester teams to get all the wins, which is, I suppose, it makes better coverage for them, don't it? But I think, like, you may have put the kiss of death on us, really, was saying the low scoring. It's the ever obliging Leicester City, really, ain't it? It's first game of the season we had a player score against us who ain't scored for about 3 or 4 years or whatever it was. So we just seem a bit of a charity case football wise at the minute. I always want to pick a Leicester win, Chris, but I just at the minute I just can't see it. I really can't see it. I mean, against Preston, the first half was just a disgrace. It was so bad, and I think Charlton might look at the way that Preston sort of pressed us and harried us into making stupid mistakes. I mean, we were struggling to make simple passes. There were no good link-up play really, until we mentioned it about Merrick Monga coming on, and then if it's taking a 16-year-old to come on at youth product and sort of change the game for you, it's a bit worrying really. I could just see it being a loss, mate, and I hate being the early kickoff on a Saturday because you sort of dwell on it all day and you think, God, and then you watch the other team.
It's not been good to us either over the years, has it?
No, and then you sort of watch the other scores come in and you sort of see yourself, going lower down the table, and you think, well, it is still early days, which it is. There's obviously plenty of time for us to pick up, but I could just see it being another disappointing Saturday, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong, and I'm more than happy to sit at the bottom of the prediction league for another week if it means that a Leicester result sort of prove me wrong. But unfortunately, mate, I just can't see it.
Last season, I was actually getting more excited at getting 3 points in the prediction league than Leicester. Brad, if you're still in, what did Sue go for? Sue was the Charlton Athletic fan. I wasn't in at that point, so I don't know what she went for. Craig has gone 1-1. Let me just say, because I have gone. Well, you've gone. What did we say? You went 2-1, 2-0, didn't you?
2-0 Charlton, yeah.
Yeah, 2-0 Charlton. Wayne went 2-1 to Leicester, just copying my homework because I went 2-1 to Leicester as well. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet, even without Danny Ward. I can't do it. Let's have a look what Brad went for, because Brad went for 1-0 to Leicester. Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, Brad, didn't you go 5-0 to Leicester against Sheffield Wednesday? But look, we're odds on. We are. It's nearly evens. Half the odds that you could get on Charlton. But Charlton like I say, everybody's favourite to go down, but they are sat above us. We have to give them the credit that they deserve. But they did come up via the playoffs. They beat Watford and they drew with Bristol, who haven't lost either. So not a bad start for them. I've gone 2-1 to Leicester, like I said, more in hope than aspiration, as they say. I think if we lose this, we could see the crowd start to turn against Birmingham next Friday, because Birmingham are going to wallop us if we're not careful. You know?
I think so, mate. Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, I know I've said I can't see us getting a result against Charlton, but sort of going into the Birmingham game, you're sort of keeping your fingers crossed and praying that we get something there, because going into that's going to be tough.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And Craig's gone for a 1-1 draw. I must admit, I nearly went for a draw, but at the moment, I'm just going to back. Unlike Scum, I'm going to back my team. But the other worrying thing is, of course, if we don't start getting points on the board, if they do come and knock points off us, we're in double shit. That's the first thing. Sorry.
No, sorry, mate. You sort of think, well, you know, I mean, if it is as predicted that we are going to get 9 points, you sort of think we got beat Charlton. Hope you can get something against Birmingham. You know, God willing, we get 3 points. You know, 6 points from the next 2 games, and then you sort of think, right, realistically, you start your season from there, because if it is 9 points, we're going to be on 0. So, yes. And then you sort of think, right, well, we go from here now. It's sort of not a reset, I guess, but it's sort of like, right, well, we start from here and then we build again. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, pal.
I'm not sure how long they're going to take to actually do it, but I've got to say, I have a feeling now it might not be 9, because I know that, you know, when they're going to, you know, fine us for, we were over PSR and we hadn't put our results in on time. But they can look at us now and go, hell, they're trying.
Yeah.
You know, they're not, you know, we could have probably got more for Hermanson, but then if we'd held out for more, we might not have sold him at all. And unfortunately, as Steve was saying earlier on the show, we need the money. You know, that's just the way it is. But so fingers crossed for Saturday morning. Next up, Norwich versus Middlesbrough. Norwich, this is close. I mean, the draw 23-10, 23-20 to Norwich, 9-4 to Middlesbrough. I'm not a betting man, so who is the favourite there? I guess Norwich, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
23.
Like you say, mate, it's so close. And when I seen that you picked it as a game to do a prediction on, I was stumped really, because I thought it's one of them where it is really tight. Middlesbrough had a decent start to the season, and I can't remember how Norwich are doing, but Carrow Road's always it's a tricky place to go, and if you get anything, then you're happy. So it's I'd say out of all the fixtures you've chose this week, it's definitely the trickiest one for me.
Yes. Well, I don't pick them to be easy, if I'm honest with you. Look, Norwich are in 11th. Middlesbrough second, had a great start. Middlesbrough won both their games. Norwich won 1, lost 1. 3-3, so they're scoring goals, but they're letting them in as well. Middlesbrough, 2 clean sheets. Absolutely brilliant. 3 points to Norwich, 6 to Middlesbrough. Like I said, I think 23-20 is more of a favourite, I think, than just 9-4. I think it edges that, if I understand my betting odds right. So what did you go for on this one, young man?
Because it was so hard to pick.
Excuses coming already, everybody. Just notice this. He's getting excuses in early.
I'm sitting on the fence for this one. I went for a 1-1 draw.
Oh, right. Interesting. Craig has gone 2-0 to Norwich. Wow, that's a big call, that, Craig. That's a big call. I just wonder if Norwich's good days are behind them, to be honest with you. I have actually gone for a 1-0 win to Middlesbrough.
It could have gone. It could go either way for me, but that's why I'll pick the draw, to be honest.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's not many high-scoring games apart from the 5-3 with Wrexham last week. But Tom's also gone for a 2-0 to Norwich. What did Brad go? Let's go back up and find Brad. He went 2-1 to Middlesbrough. So again, I think you can't call that. I think half of the people have gone for Norwich and half have gone for Middlesbrough. But Middlesbrough obviously new manager this season, which is always a test. But they've beaten Swansea and they've beaten Millwall. So fairly difficult games. Norwich, who sit one place below us. Oh no, they don't actually. Sorry, that's just in the. I thought we were. Yeah, they were one place above us. Sorry, in 11th. They have lost to Millwall, who Middlesbrough beat, and beat Portsmouth 2-1, who again are expected to struggle. So, because they lost to Millwall and Middlesbrough beat Millwall, you can see my thinking there.
You put more thought into it than I have, to be honest.
Do you want to know something? I'm going to have to tell you the truth now. I didn't know that before I picked my result.
It's landed right in your lap, that one, hasn't it?
It has. It absolutely did. I haven't got time to spend ages and check all the forms and all that. It's a bit of fun. But I thought, when I just read that out, I thought, I'm going to use that.
I think that could go. That could be one of the contenders for stat of the season. That Chris. Brad will like that one.
Sorry?
Brad will like that one.
Yes, yeah. Brad will be pinching it soon. You can bet. Right. Wrexham, Sheffield Wednesday. Well, the bubble has burst, has it not, for Wrexham? Sheffield Wednesday did really well against us in the first half. I think we did not give them the respect that they deserved. I think they were playing for a hell of a lot of pride, and fair play to them for going 1-0 up. Gave us a rude awakening. But that was the game where everybody was going 4-5, 6-0 to Leicester.
Yeah.
But look, 29-10 the draw, 4-7 on for Wrexham, 9-2 for Sheffield Wednesday. So the bookies are thinking that this is going to be Wrexham's first win.
It's looking that way. I know I said last week that I'm really rooting for Sheffield Wednesday this season, apart from obviously when the players. I think I gave them the draw last week, which in hindsight was maybe a bit too generous because they got walloped by all accounts by Stoke. I think it's going to go Wrexham's way, mate. I think, like you say, the start they've had, it's been tricky for them. They've bought a lot of new players. I think maybe you could say maybe the owners and the hierarchy there maybe been a bit naive, and they brought in players that thought, well, they've had 3 promotions on the bounce, and maybe these sort of players that they brought in, give them a chance, give another chance of going up to the Premier League. But it's not looking that way at the minute. But I do think they'll win this weekend. I think unfortunately, Sheffield Wednesday are in the position they are. Going to Wrexham for them, you'd sort of think, well, if Wednesday are going to get results soon. It's a place where they could go and potentially get something, but I just don't see it. I went for Wrexham to win 2-0 on this one.
Wow, I think look, they're not going to be this bad all season, Wrexham.
No,
I mean, I know the Wrexham fans want their old goalkeeper back. I'm sorry, Danny Ward, but hey ho, it is what it is. So I'm just trying to log into something on my system, and
they signed Callum Doyle today as well, didn't they?
Yes, which I would have liked, to be honest with you.
I thought he was all right for us. I mean, I think he got a bad injury, didn't he, at the start? And then when he came back, he didn't really look the same sort of player. But I thought he was all right for us. I mean, it seems to me like they've got a bit of a thing for the Leicester connection at the minute. You know, Danny Ward, Connor Cody, Callum Doyle. I think there were talks about him coming in for Hamza last week. And God, Top might end up there taking over at some point. You never know. Do they need a director of football as well?
They wouldn't do that, or would they? We'll have to be very, very nice to them.
Anything can happen, pal.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's supposed to be 2-step, and it's like 10-step. One second. I'm like you. I want Sheffield Wednesday to do really, really well. Only because I think, I hope they get rid of that.
Chansira.
Yeah, that's running the club. And can I just say to everybody, like, when you're moaning about Top and King Power, they're for the grace of God, so to speak. So, what did I go for? Well, what did you go for, first of all? Did you say you've gone for...
I said I've gone for 2-0 Wrexham.
You did. I have gone 2-0 Wrexham. Great mind.
We could be wrong together, Chris.
We can. We'll be there with the 1 point each again next week. Brad went 2-1 to Wrexham. He likes his 2-1s, doesn't he? He's gone 2-1 to Wrexham. So fair play to that. Oh my bloody hell! Everything I'm trying to do here, it's saying sign in, do this, do that. So yeah, for fuck's sake, fuck off. 19th Wrexham, 23rd Sheffield Wednesday. Both of them have lost both games. They've both conceded 5 goals. So, this could be a 4-4 or something like that, couldn't it?
It could be, yeah. By the sounds of that, pal, it could be high scoring. But I'm hoping it's 2-0 Wrexham. To be honest, so I'll sort of get off the mark.
Yeah, yes, and I've got to say, looking at it, I'm thinking, why didn't I go higher than 2? Looking at that, but so are you ready for the next game?
Yes, pal.
Right. Talk to me whilst I go off and just try and do this. What the hell's happened to Sheffield United?
You know what? I think we sort of Doug touched on it last week about them bringing in the. Did they bring Sellers in as manager? I think it's Ruben Sellers. Yeah. And he was saying at the time, like, and I thought the same thing. It was such a strange appointment because he's been in the Championship before, and from what I remember, I don't think he did that well there. I could be wrong, I could be mistaken, to be honest with you, but I think obviously, they got rid of Wilder and they sort of go the other way and make a completely different change and maybe change the style of football. But I think the playoff defeats, it's had a massive impact on them because obviously they went into that game against Sunderland as massive favourites. I think every man and his dog at the time thought that Sheffield United were going to run away with the final. I certainly did. I didn't really give Sunderland much hope, to be honest with you, on that game. I just think it's a massive hangover from the playoff final, mate. I think eventually they'll come good. They just it looks like they need to sort of get over that hump and then stop grinding out a few results here and there because they've got the players. They've got some fantastic players in O'Hare and Hamer and other players. So they've got the players to do it, but it just goes to show you can have sort of all the talent in your squad all the talent in the squad in the world, and it can mean nothing really because they've had an awful start. So, and Millwall are always a tricky team to play. I think even for us, they could be a bit of a bogey team for Leicester. I mean, I think we've only picked up a few decent results against them every time we played them. So, for that reason, mate, on that, I put 1-1 on mine.
Right. I'm confused. I've forgotten what I put for mine.
I mean, tell you what, do you want me to tell you?
If you've got it up, please
I've got them up. Yeah. You've put 1-0 Millwall.
Right. Again, when you look at where they are in the table, 16th compared to 24th, they've at least won a game, but they're both, again, 5 goals conceded United, 4 for Millwall. I think it will be, is this the game that Sheffield United start turning it around? I think they're going to end up in a position where they're going to be like, shit, we shouldn't have sacked Chris Wilder.
I think so, mate. It could be the 3rd time he went back there, wouldn't it? So it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up there at some point this season. Because he always seems to do a decent job for him, really, as well. So I think they're in a bit of a quandary at the minute where they've made such a big change in changing Wilder to Sellers, and it's a case of being we'll give him a couple of months and hope it comes good. But I suppose you can only be stubborn for so long before you sort of have to hold your hands up and say, listen, we got it wrong here, really. Wilder knew the players, he had them playing for him, especially due to, apart from the playoff final last season, they done really well up until that. So it's going to be definitely one to look out for to see how they get on. And but yeah, you've put 1-0 Millwall, which, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me because Millwall are such for me, whenever we play them, I know it's going to be such a horrible game because of the way they set up and the way they play, which is full respect to them. It works for them completely. But yeah, I mean, you've gone for the 1-0 win, and again, mate, at one of them where I had to sit on the fence, much like the Norwich Middlesbrough game, and thought, right, you know what, I'll play it safe and I'll go for the 1-1 draw. Yeah.
Well, they are a difficult team to play against, aren't they, though, Millwall? That's the thing.
Always, yeah. Always. They always have been.
Yeah. Craig went by the way 2-1 Wrexham over for Wednesday. For this one, he's gone United 1, Millwall 3. Wow, so he's really going for it there. Hull City versus Blackburn Rovers. 23-20 again. That is Sky Bet's favourite bloody betting thing, isn't it? 21-10 the draw, 12-5 for Blackburn Rovers. Hull had a decent start, 9th. Blackburn haven't, 21st, I think it's fair to say. Won 1, drawn 1, so they're unbeaten at the moment, Hull. Blackburn have yet to get off the mark. 4 points for Hull. Can Blackburn get anything from this?
One of my eldest daughter, the football team she plays for, one of the dads whose daughter plays for him, I'm really good friends with him, and he's actually a Blackburn fan. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for Blackburn. So you might see me if they feature in this year Super 6 a lot this season. You'll probably see me favouring them a little bit. I think this is the weekend that they do get off the mark. I think as much as Hull have had a decent start, again with Blackburn, they were sort of one of them teams where they made so many signings in the summer. I think it's going to take quite a while for them to gel and for things to click into place. But I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be a close game, but I can just see them nicking it. So I've gone for 2-1 Blackburn.
I don't mind Blackburn. I worked for them for 6 months. So yeah, I always and wherever I've lived or worked, I always kind of just keep an eye on those teams sometimes. The problem was when I was working at Blackburn Rovers, I was living in Burnley. But Hull, their owner's a bit of a dickhead again. So, I think I have gone. Let's have a look here. I have gone 2-0 to Hull.
You know what the thing is, Chris, you're saying all these results, and I'm so different to everybody else. I'm starting to panic a bit now, to be honest. Especially after last week, I'm sort of thinking to myself, shit.
Right. 2-2. He's gone for the first Desmond of the evening, Craig has. 2-2 there. Thing is, what could happen here, of course, Josh, that everybody else can be wrong and you get something like 12 points or something this week. So,
It never works out like that, though, does it? Let's be honest.
have
Let's
faith
be
in
honest.
yourself. Have faith in yourself, man. Right, let's have a look at this then. So, West Bromwich Albion have had an absolutely brilliant start to the season. Placing Portsmouth again, who everybody was kind of saying was going to struggle. Look at the odds there. I mean, it's like Portsmouth might as well not turn up. 4-5 on for Albion, 5-2 the draw, 10-3 for Portsmouth. And when you look at the league positions, 3rd for Albion, 13 for Portsmouth. They've won 2, and they've scored more than they've conceded. Lost and won, obviously, with Portsmouth. They sit one place below us. Again, I quite like Portsmouth, you know. It's like, when you look at the ground, I mean, it's just like absolutely brilliant, that ground. It's like a bit like Luton. It's built into houses, and you go down the back alley to get to the main entrance. So, yeah, I do have a bit of a soft spot for Portsmouth. I don't know whether I've allowed that to cloud my judgment. What do you think about it?
Yeah, like you, mate. I think, again, sort of Portsmouth, you know, especially when I was in my early teens to late teens, they were sort of always one of the teams in the Premier League, you know, made outrageous signings at the time. You know, I remember Canu being there and this on Sylvain Distan and so many good players. You know, Jermaine Defoe went there for a bit and they were always a fun team to watch. And then, you know, they went through some hardship with, you know, ownership, and I think they went down to like League Two at some point, League One or League Two, and then obviously they bounced back. So it's good to see them. It's good to see them at least in the Championship again. I think they'll do all right this season. I think, you know, you were saying that a lot of people are sort of having them to struggle. I don't think they will. I think a lot of people are saying they're going to have second season syndrome this season from to get promoted a couple of years ago, and they finished strongly last season. So I think they'll do all right. I could see them being outside the relegation zone, but well clear of it. I think they'll be all right. But going into this game, I mean, as you say, West Brom had a cracking start. They're playing good football. They've always been a solid team, West Brom as well, and you know this sort of. They call, you know, the boing baggies because they're a bit of a yo-yo team, and I could see them making a serious push this season. I think Mason, who's coming for them, I really like him. You know, whether he's a manager who I'd have gone for Leicester, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he's sort of making me eat humble pie at the minute, I guess, with the way he started and the way we've started. But West Brom have always been strong. I think, again, going to the Hawthorn, it's always a tricky place to go. Coming over with anything, really, you've done well to get at least a point, or, you know, if you come away with a win, you've done really well. But I've gone for West Brom to continue with the cracking start, mate. I've gone for them to win 2-0. But Portsmouth will be all right. I think going forward in the Super Six, I'll back Portsmouth maybe more times than I'll go against them anyway.
I haven't got them going down. I'm certainly not one of the three I've got going down. But this is going to be difficult. West Brom's going to be difficult, and of course they're away to West Brom. So you've gone, was it 2-0 West Brom, did you say?
Yeah, 2-0 West Brom, yeah.
As indeed Craig's agreed with you. I've gone 2-1 again, West Bromwich Albion 2, Portsmouth 1. I can't see Portsmouth, as much as I like them, getting anything from this. Brad went 4-1. Yes.
You never know what you're going to get with Brad, do you? He's a bit. It could be a bit erratic. He's gone for a few 2-1s, and then he just pulls a 4-1 out of somewhere. God, he's got a bit rogue. He's got a bit rogue with that one.
Oh, he likes rogue. But yes, I mean, sorry, but those are the Super Six. So I'll just go through Brad's first of all. Brad went Charlton 0, Leicester 1, Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 2, Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Sheffield United 3, Millwall 0, Hull 1, Blackburn 2, West Bromwich Albion 4, Portsmouth 1. And you went Charlton 2, Leicester 0, Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 1, Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, United and Millwall 1 apiece, Hull 1, Blackburn 2, and West Bromwich Albion 2, Portsmouth 0. While me, I went, God knows why I even bother after last week. I went 2-1 to Leicester over Charlton. I got Middlesbrough to beat Norwich away 1-0. Wrexham, as most people I think have got them to beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. Sheffield United to lose 1-0 at home to Millwall. Hull to beat Blackburn 2-0 at home. And West Brom to do Portsmouth 2-1 at home as well. It's well, fingers crossed for a better outcome than we had last week. So these are the other 6 games. So we're not going to do predicting scores. We're just going to say which way we think it will go. So you've got Derby, and they are sat down in 22nd. They don't like playing in the Midlands because they lost to Stoke. Well, you could argue that might not be the Midlands, but they lost to Stoke and they lost to Coventry. An amazing game, losing 5-3 at Coventry. Bloody hell, 8 goals.
Crackers, weren't it?
Against Bristol City, who had a good start. They were actually top of the league after one game. They drew 0-0 with Charlton, who we play. And, of course, they beat Sheffield United 4-1 on the opening day. I've got to say, I'm going to go with Bristol for the win here.
I think I'd go for Bristol City on that one as well, pal. I mean, Derby, again, I feel like I'm sort of constantly repeating myself. Derby is another team that signed so many players, and it's going to take so long. It's going to take quite a while for everybody to gel. I think it's when you bring in that many players in one go, it's so hard to sort of expect results straight away. And I think, after last season, they survived. And I think Derby will be all right. I think they'll come good. But, like you, mate, I fancy Bristol City for this. I know, obviously, they drew 0-0 against, obviously, we play Charlton on Saturday. So I think they'll bounce back from that. And I can see it being a comfortable victory for them, to be honest.
Yeah. Wayne says, I bought mine last week and still haven't picked it up. I presume you're talking shirts. And if you haven't picked it up, mate, when you go in, because he bought the pink, he went early. Premature purchasing, as we like to call it. And he wished he'd got the second one now. But if you go in, mate, just ask them to change it. And what annoyed me is when these came in this morning, first of all, it was annoying me that Yodel dropped it down by the lift, didn't even bring it up to me. But then they weren't wrapped, they were just literally, both of them, just like this, just straight in the bag. No cover or anything. But that's just
if he goes down as well, I've heard at the minute they're offering you exchange on the shirts and they'll give you a free player as well in the deal. We just seem to be getting rid of everybody at the minute, don't we? So they'll chuck in a player and all.
Knowing Wayne's luck at the moment, he'd get Daka. Right. Well, you're laughing. You'd get Dakota Reed.
Probably.
And I'd get about Faze. So look, none of it. Look, really. Right, Swansea hosting Watford. Swansea City are in. Got to tell you like the guy on Bullseye then, didn't I? Swansea City are sat in 15th. They lost to Middlesbrough 1-0, but then last week they beat Sheffield United 1-0. Where Watford, whoever their manager is at the current time, he probably won't be at the end of the season. What did I say? Swansea were one place above Swansea. They're in 14th. They lost to Charlton, but they beat Queen's Park Rangers. I'm going to have to say because they've both got 0 goal difference, so they've scored the same as they've conceded. I'm going to say this one's going to be a draw.
You know what? I was going to go for the draw, but we both went for the same results for the Derby Bristol City game. So I'll get the splinters out my arse and I'll get off the fence. I'm going to say I think Swansea will just nick it. So I'd go for a Swansea win.
You're going for a Swansea win there, right? Birmingham, who everybody is going to go up. They're doing Ipswich. I don't know how they can spend the money that they're spending, or Wrexham. Well, I suppose Wrexham they're getting the Netflix money, but Birmingham have got spending a lot of money. They drew with Ipswich 1-1, and they beat Blackburn 2-1. So that's probably a little bit of a false position, to be honest with you. Although, having said that, they were very unlucky with Ipswich because they scored in something like the 127th minute.
Yeah.
A bit like that, as Ipswich do. Oxford, meanwhile, again, one of those I think are going to struggle. Played 2, lost to Portsmouth, and lost to Hull City. 1-0 and 3-2. I can't say anything other than a home win.
Yeah, like you say, mate, Birmingham, they're heavy favourites. But although, they were unlucky against Ipswich, like you say, I think, last week, by all accounts, from what I've heard, they were quite lucky to beat Blackburn. And obviously to score 2 in the last sort of 5 or 6 minutes, or whatever it was. So swings and roundabouts, I guess, for this league. Sort of one week you're the nail, 1 week you're the hammer, aren't you? So, but I agree with you. I agree with you on this, but I think they'll have too much for Oxford. So I'd go for a home win on that one as well.
I think Oxford have finally got planning permission to build the 4th stand as well.
It's mad that is, ain't it? It's just like a car park behind the goal, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Although having said that, Sheffield Wednesday going that way as well, aren't they? But three-sided ground. I had to double check it, and I thought, no, that's like a meme or something. That can't be. But the team I love to hate, Coventry City. Now they are in 5th. They've had a really good start. They've not lost this season. They have drew 0-0 with Hull, and as I say, beat Derby, a stonking 5-3 win. So they're sat in 5th on 4 points. You've got Queen's Park Rangers, who haven't had such a good start, but they're sat down in 18th. And excuse me if you can hear noises in the background. In Poole at 10 o'clock on a Thursday, bonfires and fireworks. Bloody tourists, I'll tell you. They're sat in 18th. They've drawn 1 and they've lost 1. They drew with Preston. Which, to be honest with you, I think is quite a good result after the way that they demolished us. And they beat Watford. I think... Well, I'll tell you what, you go first on this side.
QPR, they're a bit of a strange one, really. I can see them having a decent season this year. I think I'd probably go for the draw on this one, mate.
Really?
And I think it'd be like a. I'll probably go for a 2-2, to be honest with you, mate. A 2-2 draw on this one. I think there'll be goal. Yeah, I think there'll be goals in it.
I think there will be goals in it, but I don't think it's going to be a draw. I think it will be another Coventry victory, to be honest with you. I think. Yeah, I know, but they're not playing us. But look, if they win a game, they have a open top bus tour of the city, don't they, Coventry?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, any excuse for them.
Yeah, but I can't see QPR getting anything this one. So I think Coventry will be too strong. Frank Lampard's doing really well there.
Yeah.
Everybody takes the pee out of Frank Lampard. I tell you what, when he was at Chelsea and he wasn't allowed to buy any players, he got them into the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think if you actually if you said to me, right, your next manager is going to be Rooney, Gerrard, or Lampard, give me Lampard every time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think he's doing all right at Coventry. Preston, we know all about them, don't we? Ipswich. Preston are sat in 8th. They always start well, Preston, and then always end up mid-table obscurity. They drew 1-1 with Queen's Park Rangers, and then obviously they beat some team from the Midlands, but we won't talk about it. Ipswich Town have... they are actually surprisingly down in 17th with 2 draws. They drew with Birmingham, were lucky to get that, and they drew with Southampton, and I believe they were lucky again. Southampton with a better team, I believe. I mean, everybody's had Ipswich to go straight back up with the best squad. Do you think that, and which way do you see this going?
Again, I think Ipswich will come good, but much like I said about Sheffield United, really, you know, they've, and you could say with us, really. I mean, sort of still having hangover from last season, how bad we were, and again, I mean, it don't really help when the press and the media are saying, you know, they're having them stonewall favourites to go straight back up, because it puts a lot of pressure on the players, really. I mean, I thought their recruitment-wise going up for the Premier League, they sort of brought in players to sort of think, right, we'll give it a go, but if we go down, then we've got the players to really fight to come back up again. It's not gone that way at the minute, but they've had a tricky start. I think, you know, personally this season, I don't think you could get 2 tougher games to go away at St Andrews on the first game of the season, opening night on a Friday, when you know it's going to be a raucous atmosphere as well, and they're obviously on a high from winning League One, and then to play Southampton as well was always a tricky game. So they've had a tough start, and I think going to Preston, as we found out last week, it's no easy feat at the minute. I'd probably go for the Ipswich win. I think they'll do it, but again, I think it's going to be really close.
Look, Ipswich were my favourites to win the whole damn thing. You know, last time we were in the Championship, if you remember, they came up with us, and every time we were playing, and I was watching Ipswich, and it could be that Ipswich were losing. I think, great, we're going to get a bit of a gap here, or they were drawing, and they get a last-minute equaliser to get a draw, or a last-minute winner. Because, I think, for fuck's sake, Ipswich, just fuck her off. You know. So, and it looks to be happening this season as well.
Yeah.
But Martin O'Neill always said, you know, it's 90 minutes that you play for, well, 96, 97 these days. Preston at home impressed me last week.
Yeah, they were really good. I thought they were really good.
Yeah. Ipswich, I think, will actually do better than we did. But they always do have a good start, Preston. I will go for a draw for this one, and I will even go for a Desmond.
2-2, yeah. It could, yeah. It's a good shout, mate. It is a good shout. I think there's goals in Preston as well as, like you say, I think Ipswich are always going to do well for scoring, to be honest. I mean, they've only scored 2 so far this season, but I think, it's a good shout, that. But again, like you said, Preston last week, I thought they were really good.
Yeah, but like you say, Ipswich are going to come good.
Yeah.
You know that they have had a difficult start. Out of the 3 games, I can see the fireworks from here. I didn't realise I was that close to the beach, to be honest with you.
The thing is, next week, Chris, if you see fireworks coming from my end, you'll know it's because I got more than 1 point. So that's what's going to happen. I'll get the wife in the garden setting off fireworks every Thursday. If you have a good week.
Fair play. But you know, this could be the game that Ipswich find, because it is the easiest of the 3 that they've had so far. Could go either way, like you say. Southampton, Stoke. I have a feeling I'm going to be eating a lot of humble pie come the end of the season, because I think Will Still, as a manager, I don't get this. You know, the guy was on the PlayStation, and then he went and managed in Europe. And we all know that managing in Europe, and we suffered this last season, is not the same as managing in the UK. All right, so he's coming at sort of the second tier rather than Roods at the first tier. I don't get all the fuss about him, but I have to say, I could be eating humble pie come the end of the season. What are you going to go for with this one? Stoke, well, let me just tell you. Sorry, I didn't tell you. Stoke are somewhere. I'll tell you in a second. They're top.
Yeah.
Stoke are actually top. Bloody hell! They beat Derby 3-1, and they beat Sheffield. One of them, Sheffield Wednesday 3-0. So 5 goals there. 6 goals, 1 conceded. They're top of the pile. Southampton are in 9th. They beat Wrexham, as we know, 2-1, and they drew with Ipswich last week 1-1. Tough one to call.
I agree about Will still. I do think he is a good manager, but you raised a really good point about him. Like, you know, he went to France and he done amazing. He was fantastic there. But
yeah.
I think, like you said, mate, European football is so much different to English football. You see it in some of the players that come over and they struggle. It's all good sort of playing, you know, the sort of tick-a-tack passing football, but I think in the Championship and especially like Premier League, Championship more so, you don't really get as much time on the ball because it's for me it's so much more physical, and when you're getting pressed into areas where you've got to basically have 11 players really now, because effectively most teams using the goalkeeper as an extra outfield player anyway these days with the way the passing's going. So I think you've got to have so many players confident and good enough on the ball to be able to play through the press. Again, I think they'll come good eventually. I think, you know, they've not had a bad start, as you say, 4 points. But Stoke, it's going to be tricky. Stoke always sort of, again, like Preston, they sort of always start wellish and then drop off. So I think I'd probably go for the draw on this one as well, mate. I think. I'm not sure if it'd be high scoring, but I think, I'd probably go for a 1-1 draw on this one.
I can see where you're coming from, and I was very much thinking draw. The problem is, if we don't go up, I don't want Southampton and Ipswich to go back up either.
Yes.
Last season, we all got relegated, but we were the better of the 3 teams.
Yeah.
You know, I was so wanted to be above Ipswich, which thankfully we managed. Southampton have got to be better than last season, let's be honest with you. Are they going to lose Tyler Dibley? Eze's gone to Arsenal, so they got Tottenham looking for a midfielder. Probably El Canouse as well. And you've also got Crystal Palace, obviously, have apparently agreed with Leicester to buy El Canouse, but they prefer Tyler Dibbling. So, but Stoke, they're just always just mid-table, a bit like Preston, really, aren't they? They're just always there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they were in the top flight for quite a few years and were reasonably good when they had Mark Hughes as the manager. But I'm just looking at this, and I know that Southampton have done all right, but, you know, when you look at them, they beat Wrexham, but they made hard work of it. And they drew with Ipswich, was probably a decent result. But again, you know, whether Ipswich lucky were, Southampton lucky. Stoke City have just demolished Derby and demolished Sheffield Wednesday. Problem is, they've demolished 2 teams there that are probably going to struggle this season.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to read into it. I can't go for Southampton because I want them to be worse than us. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go for a draw on this one as well.
Yeah. I think so, mate. I think so. I think it's. I mean, look at if you were looking at that game and you take out the games that have been played so far, you look at it and think, well, it's Southampton banker really. But as we said, Stoke always seem to start well and then drop off about, you know, halfway through the season. But it's again much like the Middlesbrough game earlier. I think it's closer than what looking at it to the eye, it's a lot closer than what you think. So that's why I went for the draw.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, we've got to do better than last week, haven't we?
I think, mate, if I have another crap weekend, don't message me. You won't see me again for another 2 or 3 years.
But I've got to say, I didn't message anybody about the results as soon as I knew I'd only got 1 point. I kind of kept very, very quiet. You know, maybe next week, if we struggle for the second week, I'm going to pick some bankers. So that we got a chance of getting some
Still get them wrong though, won't we?
Oh yes, we probably would. Josh, all the best to your good lady and your lovely girls. And,
cheers, pal.
And don't throw up now you've been on all the... I bet you went on all the rides, didn't you, Alton Towers?
Well, you know what? My eldest, she went basically. So I took my eldest, her friend, and then my youngest. We all went. So my eldest, she went off with her friend, and then so me and my youngest went round, and she was really brave, to be honest. Went on Wicker Man and 13 and all sorts. So, but as I'm getting older now, mate, I sort of come off and I think, God, it's probably need like 5 minutes to sort of rest and chill out. My head's all over the place. But
it's funny. I will not touch a roller coaster of any description. The most I go for is the log flume. Just about manage that. And there's one, and I'm not sure where it is, but you go into a tunnel, and because it's in a tunnel, it's totally black, and it just goes boom. Not expecting on a log flume. Now my son is he'll go on anything. He really will. However, when it comes to watching horror films, we did one Halloween, and he's like, Dad, you put the light on. Where's that big man on all them bloody rides?
Is your son a Leicester fan as well?
He is, thankfully, yes.
I suppose it's like watching, isn't it? I mean, it's like watching horror film every weekend, isn't it? So it's one of them at the minute.
This is very true. Although he just had a baby 4 months ago, so he's not watching that much football at the moment. He probably wishes he was, rather than changing dirty nappies. But, Josh, thank you very much, mate.
Pleasure, pal.
Coming back next week, no matter how bad you do, because I'll have to as well. So, all the best, buddy.
Cheers, Chris. Have a good weekend, pal.
And you. Fingers crossed for Leicester.
Yeah, ears open. I'm wrong on my prediction anyway for that one.
Cheers. If we lose, it's your fault, mate. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers, pal. Ta-ra, mate.
Cheers. Thanks very much to Josh there. He's got a lovely family. You can guess they've been at Alton Towers today. Thanks very much to everybody that has been in. I have to look at when we do this, actually. But anyway, thanks very much. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock with the press conference and training review, see what Marty's got to say and see how the players were performing. And, click that like button, please. Subscribe and click the notification bell as well, even if you're watching on catch-up. Add your comments and predictions in below. If you're listening, like I say, via your favourite podcast platform, cheers, me dears. I'll see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock with Wayne. We'll be back at 6 with the news show if there is any news to discuss. Have a good night. Sleep well. Take care. Good night now.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.